As I grew up, really enjoyed helping people, interacting with people. I think it's really rewarding. I'm really into my sports, and transitioning into policing, that team environment again was really appealing as well.
Lauren Hay is one of Tasmania's newest police recruits.
I'm loving it. It's good, but it's very full on. Some days are quite long.
She's one of 77 recruits who'll graduate in September.
Stoppish drills?
Yeah, stoppish drills. You don't know what you're going to get every day. It makes work a lot more exciting. Personally, I think it's a long-term career for myself.
So whatever you are searching for, you put there. You don't just put crystal methamphetamine.
While Lauren Hay has high hopes for the career ahead of her, serving police in many parts of the country are walking away in record numbers.
Oh, look, we're in a crisis situation at this point in time. So it is a real challenge, not only in recruiting, but in the retention of police across Australia.
Most states and territories have seen an increase in the number of police resigning and retiring, but some are feeling it on the ground too. South Australia Police is down 217 officers. Western Australia has 59 vacancies and is trying to recruit an extra 630 police. Victoria is 800 police short and trying to recruit extra.
And now we have got a significant number of police. We're under attrition. We're funded to replace them. We're just struggling to get them in.
New South Wales Police couldn't provide figures before 7:30's deadline.
Doesn't matter what industry you're in, it's hard to find staff. So we're not immune to that.
The police officer attrition rate in Queensland has doubled in the past 6 years, and that state also wants to hire almost 1,500 extra officers.
We're heavily recruiting to not just fill attrition, which in itself would be quite easy for us to fill, but we also have these additional numbers to fill as well. But in the current labour market, there are many opportunities for people, so we see many more people taking those opportunities where in the past they probably wouldn't have.
While the National Police Union agrees the low unemployment rate is making recruitment difficult, the unique challenges and stress of police work are driving serving officers away.
Often by the time they exit the organisation, they are not as physically fit and they are psychologically damaged, and that is a real problem we have in policing.
Across the country, there are more than 1,000 police officers on medical leave.
I think the majority of police and service people are okay with the blood and the guts and the horror of it, of any incident, but I think what sits behind that is the emotions. But it's the wife that is howling in the background that really triggers those emotions of sadness, horror, that no one prepares you for.
Pia Schindler joined the New South Wales Police Force when she was 20, but after struggling with mental health issues, she was medically discharged after 20 years of service.
I wanted to be the first female commissioner, so I became a sergeant and then went back onto the road, but I only lasted 4 years before I fell ill. And it wasn't until my GP sat with me and broke down all of my symptoms that she said to me, "I think you have PTSD."
She and a former colleague have created a charity working with emergency service organisations to provide support and education on mental health.
I think a lot of the young ones that are joining and leaving then pretty much straight away are kind of going, yeah, this job wasn't what the brochure said it was going to be. Then you also have those people that are my vintage that are going, I've served in this job for so long, my family life's struggling, my personal life is struggling, and really probably taking a step back and assessing.
We need to look at coping mechanisms to be able to support police on the front line, but also I want to stop the breakdown of the families as well. So we need greater support, and I believe this needs to be from all states and at a Commonwealth level as well.
All states and territories acknowledge PTSD is an issue facing police and say they're boosting mental health support. Police unions argue that enforcing COVID lockdowns also contributed to the exodus.
As police, we just have to do as we're told and enforce the legislation and do what is required for community safety. But as a result of that, there was a significant toll upon police and how police were perceived.
I do believe there was a slight issue with the way policing was done through COVID, but that's really interesting because every state did it slightly different.
The shortage of police officers may also be contributing to the stress on those left in the ranks.
The police that are left behind, it is fatigue, it is burnout. What we are seeing is at times police may very well take shortcuts knowing they have another domestic violence incident they have to attend to. There may be a motor vehicle crash or other public safety issues that they have to attend to.
There are officers that have left the organisation through fatigue and through, the difficulty of the last few years.
Police departments across the country are resorting to creative recruitment drives to fill their ranks.
I would probably never have had the same opportunities I would have had if I was still a police officer in London.
More than 1,000 qualified overseas officers have responded to this pitch from WA Police, promising fast-tracked citizenship for successful applicants. Queensland is on a similar recruitment drive and is poaching interstate and overseas officers with the lure of a $20,000 incentive. In South Australia, police are targeting potential recruits at local football games. Police unions are calling for a national summit to address the crisis.
We are putting the police officers who are left at risk, and we are putting the community at risk. Policing, it is challenging. It may not be a career for 30 to 40 years anymore. It may be a 10-year career. We've got to think outside the square and what can we do to attract and retain police across the board.
A spokesman for the Federal Attorney-General, Mark Dreyfus, said the Australian government has established a Police Ministers' Council for coordination on matters of interest across jurisdictions.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
In Tasmania, police recruit Lauren Hay is well aware of the challenges that lie ahead, but says that hasn't dampened her optimism.
For a young person going into a career in policing, I think is really rewarding. Once again, that mateship. You've got a second family, I guess, which is always really nice. Personally, I think I wouldn't have it any other way.